Alberti Noguera is the founder and CEO of the Pipeline Fellowship, and Lauren Maillian is an entrepreneur and the author of The Faith of the Path Redefined, Getting to the Top on Your Own Terms. And thank both of you for being here. And I want to start with you, Natalia, and just ask about this question of women in leadership. Why would it matter? What difference does it make to have a woman as the boss, a woman at the leadership of a company?
Joy, that's a really great question. And just to put it into perspective, the Feminist Majority Foundation said that if we kept at the same rate of progress that we're having right now, it would take about 500 years to reach gender parity. And that's something that we have to change. And one of the reasons being that when we do see more women at the helm of startups, for example, we actually see greater returns for the startup.
Yeah, and Lauren, we do still see, even with, all the advances that women have made in business and successful entrepreneurs, yourself included, we still see women very much underrepresented as a percentage, let's say, of CEOs, very underrepresented as a percentage of people in the Fortune 500 or running Fortune 500 companies. Why do you suppose that is?
The reason that I wrote The Path Redefined is that it was an opportunity to synthesize my story and hopefully really empower and inspire some other women to own it and to feel as though they deserve it. And so, I think that we don't have enough women who sincerely wake up every day and say, I own my place at the table, I own my corner office, I own that opportunity. And sometimes it's just in knowing that we can and in figuring out a way, because we have to, of course, remember that women have far more jobs outside of work than men ever will. And so, we've got to hopefully find a way to talk about modern day success and getting to the top on your own terms in a new way. And so there are ways that we can do it, and there are ways that we have to feel comfortable and confident in doing it.
Right, and Natalia, you wrote a piece in Time magazine, and this came in response to a sexual harassment lawsuit, I believe, by Tinder. And you wrote, what if, in addition to getting more women to consider entrepreneurship, venture capitalists joined me in asking men, pitching to them, do you have a woman co-founder? Do you see that happening, or do people sort of bypass the notion of whether a woman is a leader of the company, or if they discover that a woman is the leader of the company, can it sometimes be a detriment to things like financing?
Joy, it's a very simple question that I posed in my Time piece. Do you have a woman co-founder? And the response that I have gotten has been tremendous. And one of the reasons is because a lot of people don't think about it. Rachel Sklar of The List, she has a saying which is, privilege is like oxygen. You don't realize it's there until it's gone. And for a lot of us that don't have as much oxygen as a lot of straight white guys, it's something that is really at the forefront. I will say that there's a study that was recently published and will be announced at the Association of Management, and it shows that women and people of color get penalized if they promote someone who looks like them. And that is exactly why we need the straight white guys to be our allies, to promote us, because guess what? We're getting penalized by doing the hard work ourselves.
Interesting, because we try to encourage women to empower each other, but there's also a penalty associated with it. Lauren, I'm interested because you're in finance. You're in a field that is very sort of male, not even sort of, it's very male dominated. Yes. At this point, 19% of U.S. angel investors were women, actually, as of 2013. Only 4% were minorities, according to the Center for Venture Research. You're both a woman and a minority. How do you survive in that world of venture capital? And did you have resistance to you as a woman and as a woman of color?
So I have to say, it is one thing when you're standing in that situation, you kind of check two boxes, and then you suddenly find yourself in the minority of all minorities. So, is it difficult? Yes, I think it was more difficult to be taken seriously than anything else. And I think that the opportunity that I've been given, it's so tremendous because it's not just about me, it's about also opening doors for other women of color. It's about being able to pull other women forward. It's about being able to give them a seat or an opportunity when someone else maybe won't.
Natalia, you've done actually something very proactive in trying to actually create a network for women, and both of you women of color, and to sort of create a network. Tell me a little bit about that. The Pipeline Fellowship, it's called.
It's great. At Pipeline Fellowship's Angel Investing Bootcamp, we have three main components: education, mentoring, and practice. And it just so happens that Lauren has been one of our fantastic early mentors. And just to give you a sense of how much we have achieved, in April 2011, we launched, and I was invited shortly thereafter to attend a network of a meeting of angel investors. The whole room, there were about 22 people. 2 of them were women, including myself. 2 of them were people of color, including myself. They were just waiting to decide whether or not to invest in a certain company. And I kid you not, this is where the LGBTQ Latina comes out.
Right.
I will out myself.
Triple minority.
Yes. And they kept going around the table saying either, well, my wife and her friends think this, or well, my girlfriend and her friends think that. And so it's so obvious that the wisdom, knowledge, and the network of the women was in the room.
Right.
Guess who wasn't in the room?
Just being utilized by the men.
The women
Isn't
were
that
not
the
in
way it
room.
always is? Always. Natalia Oberti Noguera and Lauren Maillian Bias, thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Powerful interview there, and that wraps up things for the Reid Report. I am Crystal Ball, and of course, for Joy Reid, I will see you back here tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, and be sure to visit us online at thereidreport.msnbc.com.